I'm John Hugh O'Donnell, originally from Quebec City, fourth generation Irish Canadian, and on my maternal side, my grandmother was born in County Kerry, Camp, and through her I was able to get my Irish citizenship. She came out to Toronto with her family in Toronto in about 1872, and her brother eventually became Archbishop of Halifax, Thomas O'Donnell. On my father's side, came out much earlier from Ballymote, County Sligo, and he came by way of New York State, and he arrived in Quebec City in 1835. And the challenge I have right now is that he became chief engineer and chief surveyor for the city of Quebec. So here this young man, born in 1811, Ballymote, arrives in New York State, works for a construction company that wins a contract to do public works in Quebec City. So he arrives in Quebec City, finds himself a bride within a year, and starts the O'Donnell clan. So what is interesting and challenging for me, because my own background is surveying and I have my commissions in Quebec and Ontario, is where did this young Hugh get educated as an engineer surveyor? And in checking Trinity College, Dublin, their engineering science program started in about 1850. So the possibility could be he was trained by the military, but we think we would have known that. He obviously could speak French, so maybe he was trained in France because they did have some engineering training going on at that early date. Or maybe the Jesuits. The Jesuits taught science, math, astronomy, calculus, and engineering and surveying at that time was pretty low tech. It was basically laying out sewers, line, grade, elevations, and what have you. But the amazing thing is he becomes in the period of about 1840 to 1871, chief engineer, chief surveyor for the city of Quebec, and his son succeeds him. The interesting thing I found in the two presentations tonight were outstanding. In studying the census of 1851, his family is listed and quite a number of children, and many of them died at an early age at that time, going back into the period of the 1840s and 50s. But on the list was the name of an Irish girl from Ireland and not of the family. So it's quite possible this girl was an orphan, or he had taken in as a domestic to be with the family because there's quite a number of children. So that's my story.